Hi, I'm Ann Samoilov, creator of the Life Workout, and I wanted to talk to you today about a subject that always intrigues me. I'm constantly reading books on success and personal growth and personal development and business and entrepreneurship and marketing and well, you name it. I'm constantly reading. Um, but no geek jokes. I already know that. We've already established that I'm a geek for learning. So today I want to share with you three questions that successful people ask themselves. And you got to ask these questions if you want success in any area of your life, really. So it doesn't matter what your goals are, what your personal dreams, desires, kind of aspirations are. The only way you're going to actually reach them in any kind of, easy easy to like see time frame is to ask these questions to yourself and ask them often. So the first one is really just it's not really a question. It's to evaluate where you are. So, do I feel successful in the different areas of my life? Am I neglecting any area that I can think of offhand? I want you to just take out a sheet of paper, maybe sit in a quiet space for a few moments, and then I want you to just write out the different areas that kind of pop into your head and how you feel like you're doing in those areas. And you could be specific or you can be kind of vague or do what feels natural to you, but I want you to walk away from that exercise alone knowing exactly what parts of your life you want to improve. That knowledge is really important for later. So, as you can see, there are obviously different areas that some of them are higher and some of them are lower as far as, how close they are to your idea of success. So, what I'd like you to do, and just to just to do this exercise for today is just to choose one of those lower kind of areas and decide that today you're going to focus on that one and pulling that up a little bit so that it can raise to the level of the other successful ones. And just kind of set that there just for a moment. Now, I will tell you and I want to share with you that my story of kind of figuring out where I was um, wasn't a really happy one, really. My daughter was not 1 years old yet. I was crazy, seriously. I had lost it. And I'm not sure, there were only a few people I think that were really tuned into that fact. My mother in law, thank goodness for her, and my mom, of course, because she heard me on a daily basis. But I really freaking lost it when I had Mila. And for that first year, for the first full year, I think I was inconsolable. I think I thought my life had changed so much that there was going to be no way for me to get it back. I mean, I'd been active. I wasn't like a housewife. I had just previously, like a couple years prior, started a career as a Pilates instructor, but I had corporate and production jobs in the entertainment industry. I left, well, laid off, but then I left that industry, which would have given me my multiple six figure income, and that's when I decided to do Pilates. But that's another story. But so I wasn't like this person who was ready to sit at home, and I always knew that I was going to have to do some of that. So I think what did it for me was the fact that I focused so much on Mila, and God bless her, because I hope that she doesn't feel the pressure that I put on her, but I'm sure she did to some extent. Um, but I was just so focused on her that I let everything go. And that is the danger of focusing too much on one area. So while you have looked at your life right now and seen that maybe some areas need a little more attention, really pay attention to that because those lower areas are going to pull the other higher ones down. And that's what happened to me. I mean, I really neglected my husband, I neglected the house, I neglected my body, I neglected like you name it. I had no social life. I couldn't even function socially for a long time. And I think the thing that kind of got me out of it was that realization that when I sat down, I looked at it and I said, oh my God, look what I've done to myself. And that's actually part of looking at all this stuff, is really taking responsibility for it. So, the next question that you really need to ask yourself, once you've done that evaluation of the different areas of your life, is to ask yourself, with this one kind of thing that that you really think that you could do some work with right now, I want you to describe your perfect average day. And it's going to include that one thing, but I want you to really just think about from the second you wake up in the morning to when you go to sleep on your perfect average day, and how all that would play out if that were achieved. Your goal were achieved. How would you be living? Where would you go to brunch? Where would you go to breakfast? Would you have a family? Would you be would you work from home? Where would you go get coffee? Who would be your friends? Who would you go to the movies with? Just kind of look at your life and just describe it. And don't hold back on this one. Describe everything. Even though we're going for this one area, we can't forget the whole. So look at everything. And then, I really think this exercise for me had um, a huge impact in a very specific way. And when, again, back to my mothering stories, after my daughter, I think she was not one yet still, I was just looking for peace. I was looking for silence. I was looking for like this to be quiet and relaxed and just, you know, feel like normal again. And we had just, like, maybe only a few months had been living at this apartment. And it was very nice, really nice place. But it had one fatal flaw, which drove me freaking bonkers. I don't mean just kind of bonkers. I mean nutty, off the wall, Anne's lost it, let's call the paramedics, crazy. And that was, we lived on a street next to a motorcycle company. I'm like, are you joking me? We have a freaking newborn. Shut the hell up. I mean, like, just now thinking about it brings back how I felt during those times when I just got Neela down for a nap and I had just put her down and she had just fallen asleep. And then and I would go crazy. I would, like, seriously not be able to handle myself at all. And and this also went along with the fact that that was the one thing I was focusing on. I will say for the record that Mila did not wake up. Well, maybe once she did, but that was like a really loud bike. But in general, we lived on the fourth floor. We were not at street level. She did not wake up. I was losing my shit outside. She was like in dreamland. So, um, so anyway, so I just started thinking about all this peace and quiet that I wanted, and that I didn't know how it was going to go on any longer, just with this extra level of stress that I was actually really putting on myself. So I just started thinking about the place where I would be. I imagined just sitting on a couch, reading a magazine, having it be super quiet. I remember just like how the light looked in the room where I was. And then, for days and days and days, I would just imagine this. When Mila went for her nap, I would just like sit and visualize it. I wrote out my perfect average day at the time, and it included that and included that piece. And, you know, oddly enough, 3 months later, we broke our lease and moved into another unit in that same building, which was a townhouse, and it was gorgeous. And I had peace there. Now, when we were doing it, I wasn't thinking about all this stuff. I wasn't thinking, oh, look what's happening. It's the law of attraction. I just manifested this. I didn't say stuff like that to myself. But when I got there, I was like, oh, this living room kind of looks like something I've been thinking about. And I'd never seen the place before we decided to move there. Then the other thing that was weird, I just remembered, is that there was a patio outside that I had originally kind of thought of as a potential place to teach Pilates, which it turned out not to be, but that was fine. Um, so, anyways, I just wanted to share that with you because I had a very clear vision of what I wanted. And I guess even though I forgot about it, my mind didn't. I might have just internalized it and just kind of logged it back in the file cabinet somewhere. But um, Yeah, it was pretty amazing. And, after the fact, we did have more problems with that building, but still, I had that peace. I got what I wanted, and I started getting myself back on track in other areas. So now the third and final thing that you really need to do, and this is probably the most powerful thing that helps you put both the first two things into play as much as possible. And thank you so much for bearing with me with this nose. I am so congested, but I had to do this video for you today. I didn't want to put it off until tomorrow. Um, and this is a concept that is probably not going to be new to you. It might be. It might be. Um, my dear friend and mentor and coach and just amazing person really that I met and got to know really well this year, Marie Forleo, talked about this at her Rich Happy and Hot live event that was in New York City that I just went to by myself. Oh my God. um, so what she said was this: how would you behave if you were the best in the world at what you do? Would you be spending time with people that are negative and draining you? Would you have a little more boundary on your time? Would you be working for the amount that you're working for now? Would you be eating the foods that you're eating now? I'm just trying to pull from different areas of life that you might be considering. Would you be spending time with certain family members that might not be so supportive of you? This is a really amazing question to ask yourself and to constantly say to yourself, because for me, whenever I think this to myself, I like immediately stand up taller. I'm breathing. I'm ready to engage with people. I introduce myself more often to, other mothers that I come across, or other women in business that I meet, and I genuinely feel like I can connect better for some reason. And I think this is the key to achieving any of the success, is being able to just stand back and connect with the people that you need to connect with in order to get to that next step. So I hope you take the time and do the work and ask yourself these questions and answer them in the most full, engaged, on paper, whatever's natural for you. But think about them. And then once you've thought about them, don't put them away. Don't put those answers away. Don't flop them into your journal or throw it on the counter somewhere. Keep it with you. Schedule your next check in. And then start doing something. Start taking action immediately, because that's what's going to get you results and success, is your action. And that's it. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a comment below, or just, hit the tweet or like button for Facebook. You don't have to be too verbose about it. You don't have to tell me what you don't want to tell me. And I will see you very soon with another video um, to help you kind of start living your life a little more fully, because I think a lot of us aren't. I mean, I know I wasn't up to a certain point, and it took a big change by having my daughter Mila to really allow me to see that those changes were necessary in my life and that they were doable. Have a wonderful day, and I will speak to you soon. Take care.